What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys made some money today and are ready to go one more time. After the market closed today, we do have some earnings coming out. Otherwise, so far this week, not a lot of news. We had manufacturing numbers yesterday, threw the markets into a little bit of a pullback, but the bulls stepped back on the gas, recovered. And yeah, for the most part, we just kind of hang out relatively flat. Could be the case today, but I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna go in a flat day in the markets and we're not gonna get any movement. I prefer to do it with my squad. We got CJ in the house. We got Albert. Good morning to Alex, Andy. We got Brian rocking with us. Good morning to Drake, Jason P. King. Good morning. We got Jay, Joe, Kevin, Martina, Nancy. Good morning to Richard Jet. We got Rock Fullwood, Ron, Ryan, Sean Bell. Good morning to Win. We got Put Spread in YouTube land, Clyde in YouTube land. Clyde wants to take a look at RTX. We'll definitely cover that one. Take a look into that. Man, all my peeps in the YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, that like, subscribe button. We got Ron saying, good morning, Danny boy. What is up, RLT family? Whew, man, I love waking up and just hanging out with all my peeps every day. I love it. But we do have a little tiny bit of a gap up, legit 4 pennies at this point. Obviously, anything could happen with the next 28 minutes. But like I said, yesterday was a little bit light on the news. It was some earnings after hours. We get a ton more today. So the question is, are we going to stay flat? Or do we get to rally a little bit? And we could talk about the downside too, because it could happen. Again, we still have at this point 27 minutes. But we would have to come in probably below yesterday's close by a few pennies. So if we open up or we start breaking 454.13, that to me would be the sign that okay, we probably drop a little bit, maybe to 453.82. And then 453.59, that would be more of an indication that we do have probably some chop. We're going to get some bounces off, I think, some of those zones and more than likely hang out into the earnings today. Otherwise, I mean, a lot of the bigger earnings, I think, are more tech related. We're looking at the SPY right now. If we could hang out, which already we just dropped down, we'll see what happens. But if we could open up or somehow get through 454.16 today, there is a decent amount of room back up to this 455.18 zone. So there would be a decent bullish case with a lot of room to run. That's kind of the spot that I think has to get retested, even if we're expecting a big drop at some point. Oh, I hit mute by accident. I was trying to just move this thing over. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if I can get this Zoom thing moved around. All right, perfect. So if you're in the bear case, right? If you're in the bear camp thinking that recession's still on the table and this market comes down, I still think we have to get back up to retest this VPOC before any of that happens. So I think this is still going to be a little bit of a longer term target. Again, if we could start breaking holding, and right now we're opening essentially down since I started talking, so maybe I should just remain quiet for the rest of the day. We'll see. But if we get up there, that's going to be our tell-all zone. That's going to tell us if we kind of bounce higher from there, keep pushing higher, or that's the rejection spot. And then I would be looking for more of a little bit of a rollover if you are in the bearish camp. But for right now, I do think we get a little bit of a chop. I don't know how crazy today's going to get. Besides some of the companies that might have already reported earnings, maybe this morning, or maybe continuation from last night, but we'll take a look. We got the QQQ. Ron says impossible. Yeah. it only goes higher. That's it. We're bullish. That's it. I don't know. Buy every dip possible. We got the Trip Qs, QQQ. So that one does have a nice little gap up. This one is a little bit more interesting. So again, Meta comes out with earnings tonight. A lot of tech companies come out. I think a couple packaging companies, which is whatever. But I mean, who's ever had fun with packaging companies? I don't know. But a little bit of a gap and go on the Qs. We are above a lot of the support. So again, 24 more minutes till the bell rings. Can we stay there? To me, it looks like we probably can. We might have a slight better shot. The Qs are gapping a little bit more, and the pullback on the Qs have been a little bit bigger than the SPY has gotten. So I think Qs could probably rally the day if possible. Right now, at least, we are standing above the 10 EMA on the daily. Targets for me, first initial target would be probably about this 379.70 zone. So if we can get up to there, that's where I'd start to be like, okay, we got to see if we could break through. And then we start hitting we got two little VPOCs up here. So somewhere in this zone, probably the highest point would be 381.05 if we could get there. So again, it's big if we are inside of both candles technically from on the SPY and the Qs. Let me take a look at Clyde's real quick. So he wanted RTX. RTX, I believe. I'm trying to see if there's any pre-market. There it is. Gap down. Gap down. We're at the uh-oh zone right now. This is the spot. If bulls want to try to hang on, it's got to be right around this 89.50 zone. I think if 89.50 closes, if we can get a close below 89.50, most likely I think we could slip into 87.73. But it is definitely a big gap. Even on the bullish side of things, watch out for that 90.36. There's a lot of volume coming in there. So that's going to be a little bit of resistance anywhere from $90.36 all the way up to probably $91. So you have about $1 of kind of bounce around spot if you want to try to play this fade. It is technically a gap and go, and we are crushing through lots of pivots. We are just at that one last little spot. Like I said, that 89.50 that has to hold for the bulls. If it doesn't, then I think continues the weakness in today's move already, and then we could probably see that 87.70. So we have a little bit more to the downside, I think, than actually to the upside. We would need a really strong push and recovery. If 91.19 breaks, then I'd be actually really interested in a bullish play back up to this 93.34 zone. So RTX, let's add that one to the list. There it is. RTX, we'll get that one up there just to see what it kind of does. But right now, it looks weak, but it is down a lot as well at an okay spot that the bulls have to save it. So if this one provides us with a green candle at open and then we want to try to short it and that short lands at like 89.49-ish, then I might make some kind of a bearish trade, just taking a break, trap some more bulls on that one if possible, but we'll see. Oh, you meant me not talking? Yeah, unless you turn the speakers off. That's the only real solution to that. That's about it. Craig, good morning. We got C says good morning. C says for free week next week, what strategy will the room be focusing on? What should we be familiar with to prepare? That's a good question. So we do have different moderators covering different things. I believe we already have I don't know if we have the updated schedule for, I know for Monday that schedule is set, but for August, I don't believe we have the updated schedule. It's not going to vary too much from what it is now. So if you go to reallifetrading.com, just scroll down a little bit, you'll see the schedule. But we have different moderators with different trading styles because we all trade our own trading plan. So you'll see me trying to catch some morning activity. You'll catch Johnny trying to do some rollover type plays in the afternoon. Both of our risk tolerances are a little bit different of how we trade, the type of setups we take. But during free week, what I would say, and then you have Tony coming in with options. You'll see Jeremy in some of the afternoon rooms covering some of those swing trades, things like that. So, and then Yates throughout the market. There's a whole bunch of things. I'm sure Stephen King's on the schedule somewhere as well. So there's a lot of information for a free week. To prepare, just be ready. Just wake up, be ready. And I would say if you're in the free week, ask as many questions as possible. If we have to slow it down, we'll slow it down. I have no problem doing it. I know Johnny doesn't. So just be very be there, be willing to learn, and I think you'll get a lot out of it, right? In terms of why we take setups, what we're taking, and then you could take different strategies that we do, different styles of trading, and start to adapt that into maybe your own trading plan. All right. But yeah, next week, next Monday starts free week. Super pumped for that. All right. We got Disney. Yep. Spotify, I think, was gapping down on some good earnings. The trend continues. Disney with a little bit of a gap down. This one is not looking great. It is a retest gap. I don't like this open whatsoever. Looks like we're right at some kind of support. So we're really going to have to see at 9:30 where this thing opens at. Looks ultra weak right now. This could be one spot that saves it. I think we could get back to about 84.35. That could happen today if we continue a little bit lower. But I do have to see where this thing opens. So anything really above 85.55, and that would be a bear case. Otherwise, most likely, if this thing could get saved, what I think actually happens is we get bought up off of here. We come back for a retest, and we're probably looking more for a short around 86.20. Somewhere in that zone would be decent. But I have to watch how this one wants to act at open. This, again, this is a very extremely beat up stock compared to the rest of the market. So compared to the rest of the market, a lot of stocks have been making. I've seen a few of them make now all-time highs. Disney's not in that camp. It's already extremely beat up, and it has to be on people's watch list where they might be interested in scooping a couple shares up here and there. I know I'm in that case. You are at a good little support on this. So we've been down here before. We've gotten rallies out of here before. I think we could probably rally out of here before we just open and the floodgate just drops and we go lower. So I do want to be very cautious of where this thing opens. A few pennies lower, and yeah, that's going to be a decent little sell-off on Disney. Fire sale. Yeah, but then you get home and you're like, man, I just got this fire sale, and you look at all your products you purchased and they're all burnt, and you're like, ah, man, I just got to throw them away anyway. All right, but yeah, Disney will scoot this one up on the list. It is like hanging on by a thread for the Bulls to try to save this thing once again. Otherwise, it's gonna look a little bit ugly. MMM. Nice little gap up. They did have earnings this morning. I didn't get the chance to see how they did. Surprise beat on both revenue and on earnings per share. They beat by a lot. So what I said yesterday, and we'll see if this one wants to hold from what I said yesterday. It all depends on where it gaps, is what I said yesterday. And the issue is not that they can't sell products or that they're slowing down selling products. It's a very stable, boring company. I do own shares of MMM in the long term. I've been picking it up in this zone down here. So for me, it's a good gap. I'm not selling just because it's in the long term and provides a nice dividend. It looks good. The issue with them is their lawsuits that they have. And my question really is, if people did buy Triple M down here, are they getting the fear is not that they're going out of business or not going to sell products. It's more of how is the lawsuits, the lingering lawsuits, especially with the earpiece thing. How is that actually going to affect the company? This might be an opportunity for them to just sell, take profits, try to hop back in at a lower price. That's what I'm thinking they'll do. Based on the chart, we do have a nice gap above 106.56. If we can stay above that zone, I would be still a little bit more bullish than bearish. And a beautiful double bottom. Looks like we are gapping going. We are gapping and going. into a little bit of resistance up here too. So 107.40, maybe 108.15. I would love to see a little bit of a pullback into maybe this 106.59 zone, and then see if it wants to set up from there. Yeah, this is one where I think a lot of the fundamentals might not play as well, or as the technicals might not play as well as the fundamentals. This one, I think you kind of have to know what's happening with the company, and that would determine sentiment. If you're getting free money from MMM today, do you want to take it or sit through and wait for the verdict of a lot of the cases out there? I don't know, but we'll keep that one on the list. LUV. That one looks interesting. Gap and go, breaking a pivot. This is a cute little gap, huh? It's adorable. Where's that? Is there volume on this candle? Not a lot on this candle. Some more came in here. Let's see if we can get a green candle on LUV to take a breakdown on. This one definitely has some room to pull back. What was there news? Airline stocks dip after Alaska Air Group upgrade. Okay. I thought, didn't Boeing report today, or was that after hours? Maybe that's Wednesday morning. I think tomorrow morning. Yep. So tomorrow morning you got Boeing reporting. We did play that one pretty nicely. Could have held in there for another, apparently 2 hours. Whatever. But that one is gapping down as well. LUV does look weak. We got the entire sector down. This one might be one of my favorite shorts of the day so far. All right. Would love to see this thing pop into like a 36.27 zone very quickly and then lose some steam. Jay says Spotify, SPOT. So they beat by like 11% or something, I believe. But yeah, pretty decent gap down here. Again, just absolutely insane run. So a little bit of a pullback is deserved. This is a retest gap. Are we at any type of support? A little bit. We do have a little bit of support on this one. To the higher side, we definitely have some room to fade this thing up higher. Spot would be one. Give me that red candle on the way down that we could take a break of. That's my play. That's my play. I like sticking to that. We're in all types of support. So we have a little support coming in at 149.31. We have another one, 151.80. We're at 153 pre-market. Let me just see. What was the low point of this one? 144. How this thing got to 144.81. 144.81. Yikes. I'll go back to this pre-market. Is there a pre-market trade we could take? We do have some moving averages coming down on us. This broke. This was the retest. If we were to fade this thing, we could probably take almost double top up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could almost do something like this, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I want to set this thing before the market opens or not. But bullish. That's a wide stop on this thing. Mm, 150. That's still, I feel like, a wide stop. 150, 59-ish. I might have to wait on this thing. Let's see. 154.32 by 150.59. The other thing we could do too is try to catch this thing a little bit lower. because right now 2R target would be 161 and change. So 161. $161.78 for 2Rs. The other thing I'm thinking what we could do, and this is a little more iffy, but we gotta, I mean, that was a probable oversell. If we try to buy this thing at like the 50 of the 618, if this thing does come down, that would look better. Something like that. And then that could get my stop down a little further. Into about 148. So let me just update these numbers. 151.17 by 148.60. Try to catch a dip. And that puts my updated target to, that's 156. That's better. 156.31. I mean, if we could catch it, that'd be crazy. But that would be a solid trade. All right. I kind of like this one a lot. I don't know if I want to take this thing pre-market or not. I got 8 minutes to decide, though. So we'll see. That would be decent. And then getting up to 156.31, that takes us right to the high of that pivot. That might be one I consider. We'll see. All right, let's take a look at what else is out there. Here's drilling from the 3M. Yeah, I know. You're like Dracula. We got a couple of requests for Tesla. I didn't put that one in pre-market yet, but I'm considering it. So Tesla had a pretty phenomenal bull day yesterday. Just kept on going. Just kept on running. Into a little bit of resistance yesterday. So far, we're clearing this one. This would be a decent bull case. You do have the 10 on the daily at 273.59. I don't really see any reason that we get held up there. 277.42 would be my target. This could be another fun one. But this is a retest gap, so I would like a little bit of a pullback, maybe into, I could see maybe the 270.70 being the spot. I would like a little bit more of a retest, though, even into probably 268.94. So this one we'll keep on the watch list. I do like it in the long direction, but would love to see a little bit of a pullback on Tessie first. So we'll see what happens there. DHR, is that DH Horton? Oh, Danner Corporation. It is quite the gap and go, definitely trapping a boat ton of bears with that volume that came in. You are at a tiny support, I think, and you do have the moving averages coming into you. So this one could be a little bit iffy. With, I think, a little bit more bias to the downside than to the bull side. So far, a lot more things we've looked at have a bearish feel to them, which is interesting. All right. VZ. Yeah, they were supposed to report today. How'd they do? Markets like it. Let me just check out T real quick as well. T would be the sympathy. Looks identical. VZ. So good little decent gap up. Technically a retest gap, but you're blowing through a lot of that past wick into a strong resistance. So if this one could get a little higher, this would be fun. 30, anything above 34.88, I would think that would be your spot to just rally a little bit. So we're about a penny. We're right at resistance right now. Let's see if this one could take a fade down lower. Obviously, the entire sector's been a little bit weaker. Watch this candle. I mean, this looks like capitulation. This looks like a capitulation candle on Verizon. This looks like we broke, slight little retest, and we could run bullish. We got a wide open gap up here at 37.15. That one could get filled. But yeah, any bear that thought we were going back to the system of communicating through styrofoam cups and strings attached to it, they're hosed for sure right now on these earnings. So we'll have to see. Obviously, the trend is bearish. All the moving averages is coming down, but we are starting to gap up through some of those moving averages now. VZ could be a fun one, though. I mean, when I say a fun one for day trading purpose, usually kind of boring, and it probably doesn't move a lot. You have to have tighter stops, typically with Verizon, but we do got pretty decent capitulation on Verizon for right now. Plus, you do have earnings, so news coming out, and then you also have T-Mobile news coming tomorrow morning before the bell as well. So it's got a lot of catalyst in it. There you go. Now we got a decent open. Now it's got a decent open. We were able to climb a little higher. Apple just started to pop a little bit too. I'm watching on the other screen, AAPL. Maybe we just take the same trade that I have set up randomly. I don't even know what this is from. Probably a couple days ago, I think. Let's see. Apple still inside of yesterday. I like that candle a lot that just came in pre-market though. I would have to be worried about 193.88, but I think Tesla is one of my favorite longs. I got, what was the one we were trying to, Spotify? Yeah, Spotify would be one of my favorite longs as well if we could catch a pullback on it. Ron, what do you want to do? You want to do this one pre-market? Oh, Apple just reversed hard real quick. Let's see. Logitech. We see any gap? Oh. Yikes. That looks decent. Should have a minimum of $1.50 left in it. If not, could get to about $70.18. Let's add this to the list. Ron says, let's go. Let's go. It is a gap and go. Decent location. Probably if we get a pullback to 67, 77. That could be one to watch as well. Let me get the TOS up and running on the other screen. I can't find Zoom, so that's good. Oh, here we go. New share. This one. Baba, yeah, Baba has continuation too. So Chinese names ripped like crazy yesterday. I think we could get continuation out of those guys. So I do have those on my list to watch as well. Which is the ones that we want to watch for sure. I want to watch Spot. I'm going to throw Spot in Netflix's place. SPOT. I'm going to give LOGI the first one up here. We already got Tessie on the screen. LOGI is already starting to move. Everybody out there, YouTube land, you guys are absolutely terrific. Appreciate you guys joining us each and every week. Don't forget, next week is free week. You guys can hang out with us all week long and trade. And if you guys have not checked out reallifetrading.com, we do have a lot of educational stuff online as well. Spotify, we could set up as an official entry. Loving that location. Copy the link. I'm going to be too slow. Ron, you should have convinced me a lot harder. So far, it's passing us by. We'll see. Ron did set it up. Oh, man. But everybody, YouTube land, make sure you, on the way out, you guys hit that like, subscribe, and do